Simon Critchley is a contemporary philosopher whose works resonate far beyond the academic world. Known for his engaging writing style and ability to bridge complex philosophical ideas with everyday life, Critchley invites us to reconsider what it means to live meaningfully. His reflections span humor, mortality, art, politics, and ethics, drawing on an eclectic mix of influences, from ancient philosophy to modern literature and political theory. Critchley's intellectual journey began in England, where he studied philosophy before earning recognition as one of the leading thinkers in continental philosophy. He often draws on the existential and phenomenological traditions, particularly the works of thinkers like Emmanuel Levinas and Jacques Derrida, while maintaining a deeply personal and accessible tone. His philosophy is grounded in the belief that the questions we ask about existence, ethics, and society must directly engage with the realities of human life. Critchley stands apart in his ability to blend seriousness with lightness. His works, such as On Humour and the Book of Dead Philosophers, reflect a unique blend of intellectual rigor and practical wisdom. Through these writings, he challenges us to confront life's uncertainties and contradictions not with despair but with curiosity and even joy. In this exploration of Critchley's life lessons, we will delve into the key themes of his philosophy: humor, doubt, mortality, art, and the ethical dimensions of leadership and community. These lessons reveal how Critchley's insights can inspire us to navigate the complexities of modern life with thoughtfulness, creativity, and compassion. By embracing his teachings, we find ourselves equipped not only to understand life more deeply but to live it more fully. 1. The importance of humor, finding lightness in a heavy world. Simon Critchley believes humor is an essential philosophical tool, offering profound insights into the human condition. In his book on humor, he argues that comedy exposes the incongruities of life, revealing how our grand ambitions often collide with the absurdity of reality. For example, jokes often play on the disparity between what we expect and what actually happens, mirroring our struggles with the unpredictability of existence. Critchley contends that humor helps us cope with life's hardships. It allows us to distance ourselves from pain without dismissing it. By laughing at ourselves, we recognize our limitations and cultivate a sense of humility. This, in turn, fosters resilience, enabling us to face challenges with a lighter heart. Humor also serves as a subversive force. Critchley highlights how it can destabilize authority and reveal societal hypocrisies. Satire, for instance, challenges power by exposing its absurdities. For Critchley, embracing humor means adopting a critical perspective on life, one that balances seriousness with playfulness. 2. Living with doubt, the philosophical virtue of uncertainty. Critchley challenges the quest for certainty that dominates much of Western philosophy. Instead, he celebrates doubt as a vital aspect of intellectual and ethical life. Doubt, he argues, keeps us questioning and prevents us from becoming dogmatic or complacent. In his view, doubt is not a sign of weakness but a mark of intellectual maturity. It acknowledges the complexity of the world and the limitations of our understanding. For Critchley, this openness is crucial for personal growth. When we accept that our knowledge is provisional, we remain curious and adaptable, willing to revise our beliefs in light of new evidence or perspectives. Critchley connects doubt to ethics, arguing that uncertainty fosters empathy. By recognizing that we don't have all the answers, we become more open to the experiences and views of others. This humility can deepen our relationships and enhance our ability to navigate moral dilemmas. 3. Mortality as motivation, facing death to live fully. In the Book of Dead Philosophers, Critchley explores how thinkers throughout history have confronted death. He argues that acknowledging our mortality is essential for living authentically. Death, rather than something to fear, can serve as a powerful motivator to focus on what truly matters. Critchley suggests that modern culture often avoids the topic of death, leading to shallow and unreflective lives. By contrast, he advocates for a more honest engagement with mortality. This doesn't mean obsessing over death but rather using it as a lens to clarify our priorities. For instance, knowing that life is finite can inspire us to nurture meaningful relationships, pursue our passions, and contribute to the greater good. Critchley also addresses the communal aspect of death. Funerals and rituals remind us of our shared humanity and the continuity of life beyond individual existence. By embracing this perspective, we can face death with a sense of connection and purpose rather than isolation and despair. 4. The self as a social being, beyond individualism. Critchley critiques the hyper-individualism that characterizes much of modern society. Drawing on phenomenological and existential traditions, he argues that the self is not an isolated entity but is fundamentally shaped by its relationships with others. This perspective challenges the idea of the self-made individual, suggesting instead that our identities are constructed through social interactions and cultural contexts. For Critchley, recognizing our interdependence is not a limitation but a source of strength. It allows us to build communities based on mutual care and understanding. He emphasizes the ethical implications of this view. If our well-being is tied to that of others, we have a responsibility to contribute to a society where everyone can thrive. This lesson encourages us to move beyond self-interest and embrace a more collective approach to life. 5. Philosophy as a way of life, beyond abstract thought. Critchley rejects the notion that philosophy is merely an academic discipline. Instead, he sees it as a way of engaging with the world. Philosophy, in his view, should address real-world issues and provide practical guidance for living. This idea resonates with ancient traditions like Stoicism and Epicureanism, which treated philosophy as a guide to ethical living. Critchley argues that contemporary philosophy can reclaim this role by addressing pressing questions about justice, identity, and the meaning of life. For Critchley, practicing philosophy involves more than reading or writing. It requires a commitment to self-examination and critical engagement with the world. By integrating philosophical inquiry into our daily lives, we can develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and contribute to a more thoughtful and compassionate society. 6. The ethical imperative of listening. In an age of polarization and misinformation, Critchley underscores the importance of listening as an ethical practice. He argues that true listening involves more than hearing words. It requires openness to the perspectives and experiences of others, especially those who are marginalized. Listening, according to Critchley, is an act of humility. It acknowledges that we don't have all the answers and that others' insights can enrich our understanding. This practice fosters empathy and creates space for dialogue, bridging divides and promoting mutual respect. Critchley also connects listening to activism. By amplifying the voices of those who are often silenced, we can challenge injustice and contribute to a more equitable world. This lesson inspires us to approach conversations with curiosity and compassion, prioritizing understanding over judgment. 7. The role of art in shaping meaning. Critchley has written extensively about the transformative power of art. He believes that art challenges conventional ways of thinking and opens up new possibilities for understanding ourselves and the world. Art, in Critchley's view, is not just a source of aesthetic pleasure but a medium for exploring existential and ethical questions. For example, literature can illuminate the complexities of human emotion, while visual art can provoke reflection on social and political issues. Critchley encourages us to engage with art actively, not just as consumers but as participants in its meaning-making process. By doing so, we can expand our perspectives and discover new ways of approaching life's challenges. 8. Political engagement as a moral duty. Critchley emphasizes the importance of political participation as a form of ethical responsibility. He argues that individuals have a duty to challenge systems of power that perpetuate inequality and injustice. This lesson reflects Critchley's broader commitment to social and political ethics. He believes that philosophy should address real-world problems and inspire action. Grassroots activism, in particular, offers a way for individuals to contribute to meaningful change. Critchley's approach to politics is deeply humanistic. He calls for a politics of care and solidarity, where individuals work together to build more just and inclusive communities. This lesson challenges us to move beyond apathy and take responsibility for the systems we inhabit. 9. The necessity of ethical leadership. Critchley redefines leadership as an ethical practice rooted in humility and service. He critiques traditional models of leadership that prioritize authority and control, advocating instead for a more compassionate and collaborative approach. This perspective has implications for all areas of life, from professional contexts to personal relationships. Ethical leadership, according to Critchley, involves listening, empathy, and a commitment to the common good. It requires leaders to prioritize the well-being of others over their own ego or ambition. Critchley's vision of leadership inspires us to rethink our own roles as leaders. Whether we're guiding a team or supporting a friend, we can practice leadership that empowers and uplifts others. 10. Learning from failure, growth through imperfection. Critchley views failure as an integral part of the human experience. He argues that embracing failure allows us to learn and grow, fostering resilience and self-awareness. This lesson challenges the perfectionism that often dominates modern culture. Instead of fearing failure, Critchley encourages us to see it as an opportunity for reflection and transformation. By accepting our imperfections, we can develop a more compassionate relationship with ourselves and others. Critchley also connects failure to creativity. Many of the greatest achievements in art, science, and philosophy have emerged from failed attempts. This perspective inspires us to take risks and embrace uncertainty, knowing that failure is a natural part of the creative process. Conclusion: a life of meaning and responsibility. Simon Critchley's philosophy invites us to navigate life with humor, humility, and ethical commitment. His teachings challenge us to embrace uncertainty, confront mortality, and prioritize relationships and community. By integrating these lessons into our lives, we can cultivate a deeper sense of purpose and contribute to a more just and compassionate world.